You're listening to the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. Now here's your hosts, Kevin, Derek, and Alex.
All righty, welcome into the Sunday Morning Tailgate, the show where we're going to go through and we're going to help y'all get ready to rock and roll and be able to bring home some victories here today on NFL Week 2. We've got a great one for you. Always, this is kind of that show where we go through, we answer all those start-sit questions, answer any of those fantasy burning fantasy questions that you may have to help you guys get ready here for NFL Week 2 here. And there's a lot of news kind of coming out here, right? Especially when we kind of start off the slate here with this 11 o'clock game, or the 11 o'clock my time, the 1 o'clock Eastern slate of games here. A lot of injury reports coming out. These things are still starting to filter in. So there's a bunch of them out here, and we're going to go ahead and go through some of these things to help you all get ready to rock and roll here. A couple of comments coming in here. Stacks app. Let's go, boys. Always appreciate seeing the Stacks app in the chat. They got a great platform over there. You need to go check it out if you haven't already. Leadership Lessons, longtime viewer there saying, let's time for the football. It absolutely is there. Bill is in the chat. Bill saying, let's go. Always great to see you in the chat there, Bill. All righty, let's go ahead, and we've got some questions already kind of starting to filter in here. So we're going to go ahead and go through some of those things. Help y'all out here, all that good stuff. If you got questions, throw them in the chat there, and I will rock and roll through those, and we'll help you guys get ready to rock and roll for your fantasy football Week 2 lineups here. All right, first question coming in is Vet asking, should I start Kareem Hunt or Antonio Gibson? Both of those are going to be very, very good matchups there. Looking at my rankings there, I've got Antonio Gibson ranked 16th this week when it comes to running backs. I've got Kareem Hunt lower than that. Kareem Hunt, I've got him kind of in that almost fringe fringe running back too. So it's a pretty easy start of Antonio Gibson for me on that one. Detroit, that should be a little bit of a higher scoring affair there. Kareem Hunt, the matchup is super juicy. The Jets, on paper anyway, look that way, but the Jets last week did only give up about 3 yards per carry, and that was to Christian McCaffrey. Now, anybody that tuned into the Tuesday and Friday show, my thoughts on how disappointing it was for Ben McAdoo's game plan that he decided to try and run out there, and you're only going to get your most dynamic playmaker very few touches in that game throughout it, meaning of course Christian McCaffrey there. So we'll see if there's a little bit different type of tone set there, things like that. But we'll see how this one rocks and rolls there. But between those two, I am taking the Antonio Gibson side. On YouTube, Isaiah was asking Taysom Hill or at the flex. And I know that this is a very intriguing matchup for folks out there, or an intriguing play for a lot of people, especially kind of coming off of that big week 1 that Taysom Hill had. But, let's look at this thing. He had a very, very small usage percentage in that one. You're realistically talking that a tight end that's going to see running back type of play. And even when it's running back type of play, you're going to see a very small workload. So you're talking, 4 or 5 carries a game max type of thing. Now, there are some other things going on down there in that New Orleans and Buccaneers game that's very interesting, that could potentially lead me to saying, okay, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is a guy I would normally say, absolutely not going this route, not playing this one. But there are some things at play here in this game that could lead me to it. Both teams having a tremendous amount of injuries in this one. Alvin Kamara is already listed officially out on this one, so you can't play Alvin Kamara, which leads us to potentially that opens the door up for a Taysom Hill type of sighting, at least on my fantasy rosters there. But there's some other things at play still. Jameis Winston, if he's the quarterback, I'm not looking to start Taysom Hill on this one. You're going to see Mark Ingram in there. You're going to see even Tony Jones in there. I think Tony Jones gets more usage in this game than Taysom Hill does. So that's kind of where that goes. Now, if Jameis is officially ruled out, it looks like he's trending to go. Haven't gotten the official word on that one. So we'll wait and see how that one looks there. Those reports should be dropping any moment on that. If Jameis Winston's a go and Alvin Kamara's out, we already know Alvin Kamara's out. I would not start Taysom Hill. If both of those two are out, Taysom Hill opens up the door. But there's probably some other options on your waiver wire that could help you out there, right? DeAndre Swift's also a guy that is questionable heading in there. I'm expecting that report to drop any moment on whether or not he's a full go or not in the Detroit-Washington game that's kicking off here very, very soon. If DeAndre Swift misses, Jamal Williams is an absolute, smash yes play on that one. If DeAndre Swift goes, if the other scenario we already talked about there with the Taysom Hill, Paris Campbell becomes a guy that's on a lot of waiver wires. It's very intriguing. Michael Pittman's already been ruled out. Alec Pierce already ruled out in that deal. Whereas you very well may see Paris Campbell become the number one target in that game today for Indianapolis. So that's a very intriguing one and a guy that I'm playing in a ton of DFS lineups out there. Appreciate that question. Let's go ahead and hit up the next one here. Kev over on YouTube asks Adam Thielen, Allen Robinson to play at flex. This one's incredibly close. In my own rankings, they are not that far separated there. So I can see the dilemma. I can see the tough question there. But for me, I'm going to go with Adam Thielen just over Allen Robinson there. I think he's got some touchdown upside on that one. I think Robinson probably sees a little bit more volume, but I think Thielen scores a touchdown in this one here. Let's go ahead and see here. Terry asks, better Pittman replacement, Cook, Shepard, with Rondale Moore likely out, Tyler Boyd or Peoples-Jones. I certainly see the appeal of Donovan Peoples-Jones after last week and that massive target share that he had, but it is, it's a little tough to necessarily kind of go that route, right? Even when you watch that game, it looked like there's some chemistry between Jacoby Brissett and Donovan Peoples-Jones. However, there's other options on this on your list here that I'd far rather play, right? If Tyler Boyd, I'd probably rather play if Higgins is out. Looks like he might have been. Looks like Higgins is trending to go in the right direction there. Shepard, Sterling Shepard is a long fan favorite of mine. And he can break some plays and he can do some big things there. But if you've got Brandon Cooks on there, Brandon Cooks should be in your starting lineup. You should have found a way to probably get him into your flex or a wide receiver too, depending upon your lineup there. But Brandon Cooks is an absolute just smash yes start on that one for me. So Brandon Cooks is the answer there on that one, Terry. Corey over on YouTube, is it time to drop Julio? Am I wasting a roster spot? No, I don't think you're necessarily wasting a roster spot. But Corey, it very much depends on what you've got out there on that one. If if it's not a waiver wire thing there, all right, it very much depends on what's on your waiver wire, right? There's some guys that I would probably drop Julio for, but for the most part, I'm going to hang on to Julio and I'm going to see what this thing looks like, right? Reports coming out of camp said that Julio looked, a few years younger on that one. He was one of the fastest guys on the team in camp there. Yes, he's a little banged up here, but this is a different issue from some of the banged up that we've seen in some of these previous years and previous issues on that one. So it's kind of a hamstring there. This one's a little bit of a knee thing. So we'll see how this one clears up there. I'm probably going to give it about another week or so, but it very much depends on what else is available on your waiver wire. Hope that one helps out there. Madeline, good to see you back in the chat, Madeline. Looks like Swift is active. Awesome. I actually, as I was pulling that one up, saw the report hit on my phone over here as well. So thank you for that one. Swift is active. So going back to that Taysom Hill question, Paris Campbell is my start there. We've kind of already eliminated all of those other contingencies on where we'd go with, right? Swift's playing, taking Jamal. I'm going to pass on the Jamal Williams route on that there. Jameis Winston looks like he's starting. Alvin Kamara's out, passing on the Taysom Hill, and that leaves Paris Campbell, who again should be the number one wide receiver for Matt Ryan this week. And I think that you're going to see him, like I said, I'm playing him in just about every DFS lineup I've got. I think that he's got a juicy matchup. I think he's got a prime opportunity here, and he's very, very talented. So I like that one. Madeline asking, happy Sunday football. It is Sunday, and it is happy football Sunday. Absolutely. Kirk, Sutton, DJ Moore, Marquise Brown, Drake London, Bateman need 2 wide receivers, maybe flex in a full PPR league. This is a terrific wide receiver core that you have here, and I'm a big fan of what you've got here. Cortland Sutton, absolute smash yes for me on that one. I am playing that one. We saw the connection looks good. And even last week in that one, that was a little bit of a deceiving stat line where Cortland Sutton had a lot of great, kind of balls thrown down the sideline there, deeper shots there that, ended in PI penalties, some tough coverages there, things like that. But what that tells me is that Russell Wilson's looking for Cortland Sutton to be the deep shot threat for him and will throw the ball down the field to him. So I'm going to take that one there. I really like that play. And then that leads us into some other kind of interesting matchups here, right? So when we look at it, DJ Moore, I think he's got a good matchup there. In Carolina, or against New York. I really hope that we do see Ben McAdoo start using the middle of the field a little bit with these play calls here. Not necessarily trying to throw all of these deep, all of these out routes, all of these flat type of coverages into zone coverage like we saw last week. So I think we do see some of that where we see more of the stuff over the middle there, which DJ Moore can house one from anywhere on the field. He's that talented. I like that play there. Let's see here where I've got Christian Kirk ranked. I'm pulling that one up. Christian Kirk, I think he's going to have an okay day to day as well, but I do have DJ Moore ranked higher than that. I've got Christian Kirk as a wide receiver 3 for the week. I've got DJ Moore as a wide receiver 2 this week. So that's kind of where I'm looking to go on that one there. Marquise Hollywood Brown. Let's see here real quick on what he's looking like here. Marquise Hollywood Brown. I've got that one. And I think that's going to be a favorable matchup there. London, that's going to be a garbage time type of game for him. Same thing with Bateman too. Bateman very well may see a lot of Xavier Howard today, so that's a tougher matchup there. So Madeline, if I am looking at this thing and I'm ranking it up as far as that kind of goes, I would be playing Sutton. I'm probably going to lean the DJ Moore route and then Christian Kirk on that one. And I wouldn't have a problem with anybody telling me that they're going to put Christian Kirk or DJ Moore into the flex there. Actually, I'm sorry, I just messed it up. Sutton, DJ Moore, Marquise Hollywood Brown in there would be my 3. And I'd probably actually rank it Sutton, Marquise Brown, DJ Moore in that order there for this one here. Very cool. If you think of any other questions, just throw them out there. Kev, I did hit this one up at the I'm sorry, you changed that up. So it's Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen, or Kenyan Drake at the flex. I think the answer is still going to be Adam Thielen for me on this one. Even with J.K. Dobbins missing some time there, I don't know that I'm fully bought in on the Kenyan Drake hype and train yet, the little bit that's out there. And then that leaves me with Thielen, Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson probably gives you a little bit safer floor. I think he's going to have a better target share, better volume this week, but I do think Adam Thielen has the touchdown upside. I think that that's going to be a little bit higher scoring game in which the Vikings are going to need to throw the ball. They're going to need to keep that thing they're going to be a little bit closer and in a higher scoring game there. So I kind of like that one there. Allen Robinson, like I said, I think he's going to get some decent volume. You're going to see him come out there, but you could very well see this thing turn into the Rams just grinding and out, running the ball fourth quarter because the game's out of hand there. So I like that one. I like Thielen, best option there. As far as Mike Evans against Lattimore, man, if I've got anybody in this, this is a matchup that I said on both the Tuesday show and the Friday show that I'm probably going to try and pivot away from the Bucks and Saints game if I can, right? If I've got the ability to pivot and make some changes and go some different directions on this one, I'm absolutely going to do that one. This Saints and Bucks one, I think is going to be a low scoring game. We've seen a ton of injuries on this one, so we're going to see a lot of backups playing. And it's really a ton of injuries along the offensive side. Both of the defenses have been looking fairly healthy on this one. So you're going to see a lot of backups playing, a lot of starters on both sides of the ball. Tom Brady has yet to beat the Saints as a Buccaneer. So Mike Evans has touchdown upside on this one. But that's really where you're going to be looking for it. You're not going to be looking for Mike Evans to really be putting up many points from a PPR standpoint or a yardage standpoint. I think if he's going to put up points for you, it's going to be in the touchdown side of things. So if I've got some options that I can pivot there, I'm going to pivot. Which I guess kind of looking at your next question there, I can see kind of some wide receiving core options if it's the same team where you've got Evans, Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen. If it's between those ones there, and it's between Thielen, Robinson, and Mike Evans, I'm probably going to have Mike Evans as like a wide receiver 2 potentially there then. But again, that depends on your depth of what your wide receiver core looks like there. If you have some other questions or you want to get me over the kind of the depth chart of your wide receiver, Kev, love to kind of go through and I'll rank those for you. Whale over on YouTube, 20-man league, Melvin Gordon or Tony Pollard, PPR. That's a good one. That's going to be a tough one. There, both of those guys are going to see, kind of that running back 2 role on their respective teams, right? They're not going to even be RB2 for fantasy, but when you're talking in a 20-person league, that is a super, super deep league, and you get some of these types of things where you have to start those. So, I've got Melvin Gordon ranked 38 on for my rankings this week, and I've got Tony Pollard ranked 40 on that one. So kind of looking through this thing, you very well may see the Broncos also have a much bigger spread to try and cover, right? They're the favorites in that one, playing Houston at home. So you very well may see the Broncos kind of, have a big lead there and salting that game away in the third and fourth quarter. And at that point, they may elect to use Melvin Gordon in a much heavier role, just from the standpoint that they'll save Javonte Williams if they don't need it in the game's well in hand type of thing. So I think you'll probably see some of that. Tony Pollard does give that intriguing upside because I think the Cowboys are going to be down in this one. They're going to have to throw the ball in there. That wide receiver core, really, really tough out there in Dallas right now. So you very well may see Tony Pollard get some receiving upside, but I think Melvin Gordon gives you certainly the safer floor in that one. And I've got him ranked just a couple of spots higher. So that's how I would rock and roll that one there. And Kev, I see your question coming in here. I got Mike Williams. Yep, that should have been a smash yes start and should already be out there. Sky Moore, I see that one. You can't play him anyway, but he shouldn't have been in your lineup on that one. So we're not going to go that one. So we've got 2 guys we can't do anything about because those positional locks are already in place. But Mike Williams, yes, should have been a smash start for you on Thursday. Sky Moore should have been buried on your depth chart there. And I'm sure that's probably how you did that one, which leaves us with sounds like a wide receiver 2 and a flex play here that we need to try and figure out. So Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, Allen Robinson, Devontae Smith, Treylon Burks. There's a really, really good chance that Tennessee is down in this game and needing to throw the ball there, which Treylon Burks later in the season, I'd probably say, hey, like that sounds like a great ceiling play and a great option, and we can rock and roll that one. But this being week 2, Tennessee didn't really they utilized him a little bit there, but it wasn't a ton of usage there. It didn't necessarily look like his snap count was overly great last week either. So I'm probably not going to go with Treylon Burks. So that leaves us with Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, Allen Robinson, Devontae Smith for that wide receiver 2 and flex play for you. Devontae Smith, I'm probably going to be out on amongst the other 3 there. So you're going to be down to, and Devontae Smith looked good. He got some good routes run, but Jalen Hurts certainly has eyes for AJ Brown there. And +2 with this Philadelphia deal. It's just as likely that they run the ball in as they do pass the ball. Jalen Hurts is one of the few quarterbacks out there that can go through and have a week where he scores 0 passing touchdowns and still puts up a top 8 quarterback performance on the week there. So Devontae Smith out, which leaves us with Mike Williams, Adam Thielen, Allen Robinson here. In which case, Mike Evans, I'm going to put in there at wide receiver 2 for the upside on that one. It's tough to go through that because Mike Evans should be Buccaneers in the red zone. You'll probably see him targeted in the end zone there. So I like the touchdown upside there, and it's tough to get away when he's going to be really the number one the number one look for Brady this week. So wide receiver 2 for Mike Evans, Thielen, Robinson. Since we're going to go with Mike Evans as the wide receiver play there, the wide receiver 2 play there, in this case, I'd actually probably shift a little bit because I don't necessarily want 2 guys that I'm relying on more touchdown upside to try and make my week from their performance. I think Allen Robinson will be more heavily involved in this one. The Falcons lines are not going to give the Rams near the fits that Buffalo front 4 did. So that's probably how I'd look at yours, Kevin. I'd probably go Mike Evans, and I'd probably go Allen Robinson, my flex, just from the standpoint I don't necessarily want to do 2 touchdown upside for my wide receiver 2 and my flex there, which Adam Thielen, I'm thinking, is the touchdown upside. Allen Robinson probably gets you a little bit safer floor there. So since I'm going touchdown upside to Evans, I'm going to take the floor and the Robinson play there. And realistically, between Thielen and Robinson, I had those 2 ranked extremely close. I gave Thielen the edge out in my rankings in a straight up type of thing, just from the touchdown upside there. I think there's potential for some more points there, but in this case, I think you need a little bit of touchdown upside, which you get with Evans, and floor play with Robinson there. That was a good one, Kevin. You made me, or Kev, you made me work for that one a little bit. I like it. If you guys, you have any questions, let's throw them out there. Let's help you guys get your lineup set, get you guys ready to rock and roll here. Joseph over on YouTube, half point PPR, Ayuk, Penny in the flex. It's Penny for me all day, and I'm not thinking much about that one. Trey Lance, I got to see Trey Lance prove it, right? I got to see him prove it a little bit here as a passer in the NFL. We've seen some sparing type of shots there for him. Penny should get some use in this one. You're going to see that even with Kenneth Walker coming back on this one. I don't see them giving Kenneth Walker a massive workload in here. San Francisco's got a great rushing defense in there as well. So this is one of those that I see them working Kenneth Walker back in here, coming off that hernia surgery, to get him more in football shape there, kind of take some of those hits, get a use of the game speed there a little bit. But I think that you will see Rashad Penny get the bulk of the workload. And Seattle, Pete Carroll loves to run the ball. That's how he believes in playing football, is running the deal there. So I see where IU could potentially give you some upside there with it being half point PPR and him being a receiver, but Penny, that's not necessarily his game, is receiving. So I'm going to go with Penny on that one pretty quick. Hey guys. So Nick, I do not know how to pronounce that. My apologies, but we got a question coming in on the YouTube there. Hey guys, PPR pick 2 wide receiver 1 flex. So we got to pick 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. Got it. Okay. Mooney, Sutton, Gabe Davis, Edmonds, Henderson, Waddle, and A-Rob. Great questions here. So Sutton's a smash for me in the wide receiver there. I'm probably going to go with Waddle over Gabe Davis in this one. Gabe Davis, with him potentially being hurt on this one and it being that Monday night game. And I've got two healthy wide receivers there in both Sutton and Waddle. I'm going to go that route and take those two as my wide receiver 1 and 2 there. Just simply from the standpoint, if I've got Gabe Davis up in my wide receiver 1, 2, it gets really tough for me to pivot anywhere on that. Like I can't pivot to anywhere else on that one. Which then leads us into kind of the next plays there, right? I got Allen Robinson, I got Darrell Henderson, I got Chase Edmonds, I got Darnell Mooney in there. So at that point, it kind of comes down to what you need. Do you need upside? Do you need floor type of play? Henderson's probably got the best floor of anybody out there. So if you're projected to win big, I'm taking the floor play on that one and going that route there. If I need some upside and I need some, I do appreciate when y'all throw that out, how to pronounce those things. Thank you. So Mooney should see some deal there, but again, like that's a risky kind of play there. Gabe Davis would be the guy that I would say to start here. If you've got somebody that you can pivot to on Monday night, should he not be able to, and that might be one of those that if that's the case, you need to pivot, you might have to try and go out and get Isaiah McKenzie and try and pick him up. May have to try and get Jamison Crowder to put in there. Both of those highly risky type of plays, in which case you're hoping for a touchdown upside there. Chase Edmonds, I like some of the props that Chase Edmonds has, but those props are pretty low out there today. So I'm not necessarily buying into the Chase Edmonds hype yet there. A-Rob, again, I think A-Rob has a pretty good floor, but here, let's kind of go through that one. I just want to compare something here real quick. I got Mooney ranked 27. I got Allen Robinson ranked 26. So I got Mooney and Robinson back to back on that one. Gabe Davis, so Gabe Davis is the guy to play in the flex, but you've got to have somebody to pivot to if he doesn't go. And if you don't have somebody to pivot to, then I'm probably going to go with Allen Robinson in that situation. Hope that one helps you out there. Kev saying much love. You very much appreciate the questions, and absolutely we'll keep rocking and rolling there. Bob Dole. The only reason I know how to pronounce that is he threw that in the chat there, and I appreciate that. Start, sit, Stafford or Murray, running backs Najee Harris or Edmonds or J-Rob. Bob, I'm assuming that you only need one running back then. But start, sit between Stafford and Murray. I'm going to take Kyler Murray. I think that one they're going to need to have some back and forth on that game. That Falcons and Rams matchup that could very easily be done, quick, fast, in a hurry, where the Rams kind of come out and try and make a statement game on this one. The Falcons just frankly aren't very good. And I think last week was more of an outlier than what we can expect there. So, Stafford potentially being very limited in the fourth quarter. I'm going to take Murray, who also gives me some rushing upside there as well. I think he will outpoint Stafford in this one, which then leads us to the kind of next part of this thing as Najee Harris, Chase Edmonds, Jay Robinson on this one here. I'm just going to rank this one for you, and you can, because if you need two or whatever, like we can go through that one, but I'll just rank them 1, 2, 3. Najee is going to be, ranked number 1 in that one. So I would go with Najee on that one. I know that he was listed as, dealing with some foot injury earlier, but it looks like he's going to be good to go. I've got him as a top 12 back, which, puts him running back 1 territory. Chase Edmonds, let me pull him up here real quick. Helps if I can type. Chase Edmonds, I've got him as a fringe RB2 this week. And J-Rob, James Robinson, I've got him as a fringe running back 3. So in that case, I'm going to go Najee, Chase, J-Rob on that one. Hopefully that helps you out there, Bob Dole. Leroy, is on YouTube and asking the question, starting Swift, should I flex Jay Williams with supposedly limited Swift or flex Ingram with Kamara out? I'm going to take the guy that should get the majority of the workload at that point, Leroy. Like, I understand the very much the intrigue of starting Jay Williams, Jamal Williams in that one, especially from the standpoint that you've seen that kind of go through and play out in the case where we've seen Jamal Williams get more of the goal line work on this one. But that being the case, it very much too depends on how much you believe in the in the Detroit running game and the Detroit offense there. If you think that Detroit's going to go out there and score 35 points, then yeah, it makes sense to that. I don't think that game's going to be that high scoring on like Detroit's side of things, which limits my upside on that one. So, if I need a floor play, okay, I can see doing the Jamal Williams and I can see the thought process there. But with Ingram, I'm going to probably go with the Ingram on that one because I kind of split my my lineup. I diversify my lineup there a little bit there. And I kind of like the Mark Ingram play, who should get you a better floor and certainly has a better ceiling without the being the running back 2 in that offense, being the running back 1 in that offense today. So I can see the thought process, and I'm not opposed to the thought process, but if it's me personally, I'm gonna start Ingram over Jamal Williams in this case here. Kev on YouTube, should I start the New England defense against Pitt or New Orleans against Tampa? Man, that is a good one there. That is a toughie. You guys are throwing out some great ones today. New Orleans against Tampa, right? We have not seen Tom Brady play his best against New Orleans with him being a Buccaneer. New England's defense against Pittsburgh. You've got that one where it could be a bit of a slugfest there. Hang on here real quick. I'm going to pull up another thing here and just look at that one before I get you my answer there, Kev. But we should. So I'm looking at that Tampa Bay New Orleans Saints game to be like a 21-18 victory for the Saints. So 39 total points being scored there. I see the New England and Steelers being played out where I see New England 23-20 in favor of the Patriots there. And we kind of go through all of that stuff on our Friday show too, guys. So as far as our point totals and how we kind of see some of these things going. So I'm going to take the team that I'm projecting to score the lower points on the defense side of things, and I'm going to go with New Orleans defense against that very banged up Tampa Bay offense there. Hopefully that helps you out. Kevin Leroy saying thank you. You are most welcome, sir. Alrighty. So Madeline saying thank you. What do you think of Cincinnati as a suicide pick against the Cowboys? No spread in Dallas. If you're just going on a money line type of thing there, and you're looking for a for like an eliminator type of thing, or you're doing as a lock type of thing, I do like the Cincinnati pick there. Let's just be honest with everybody out there. Cincinnati probably wins that game fairly easy against Pittsburgh without that rush, that pass rush that Pittsburgh was putting on there, and if Joe Burrow doesn't turn the ball over just constantly. So Dallas, while they have shown that they can be, some ball hawks and they can get the turnovers last year, I don't know that you're going to see enough offensive firepower in Dallas to be able to keep up with Cincinnati. So even if it turns into a shootout type of thing, I'd be okay. I'd be okay with going with Cincinnati as that pick there. And I'd feel all right about that one, Madeline. Hopefully that helps you out. Juked XD, full PPR, Antonio Gibson, Zeke, or Najee. I'm going to go with Najee. Right. I realize he's dealing with that little bit of that foot issue and that banged up type of thing there, but I got Najee still ranked as a running back 1 this week. I've got Zeke ranked as RB 17. I've got Gibson ranked as RB 16 on the week there. So kind of how that's ranked out there just between yours. I got Najee, Gibby, and Zeke in that order there. Also AJ Dillon, and that does spice things up there a little bit, and I do like that one. But the fact that I think that you're going to, again, continue to see A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones split time in this one, I think you will see Aaron Jones more involved than we saw him last week. So I'm still going to keep it as is with those rankings. And looking through it, I've got Najee number 12 on the week. I've got Gibby number 16, Zeke number 17, AJ Dillon number 18. So realistically, I've got Gibby, Zeke, and AJ Dillon all kind of in that same tier there. And I kind of ranked it at that point that I could see. I see Gibson really kind of coming out ahead on that one, just from the standpoint I think that you're going to see a little bit of a shootout out there in Detroit. Kev, Matt Stafford or Jay Bo to start at QB. Is Jay Bo Jacoby Brissett? I'm just not familiar with Jay Bo on that one. So if you can help me elaborate on that one, Kev, I'll certainly help you out on. Joe Burrow, Joe B, got it. JB, got it. Joe Burrow. Okay, my bad. Matt Stafford, I've got ranked as number 12 QB this week. Joe Burrow, I've got his number 8. So that's how I'm going to rock and roll that. I'm going to go Joe Burrow with the start there on that one against Dallas. Yvette asking, with all the injuries to Tampa Bay wide receivers, should I play Burrow over Brady? If I can pivot off of Brady and this New Orleans and Tampa Bay game, I am absolutely going to pivot just about everywhere I can, which made that one of those questions up earlier about Mike Evans and all of that so difficult because of the fact that you're going to see a lot of they've still got to throw the ball somewhere, but I think that is going to be an incredibly low scoring game out there in Tampa Bay and New Orleans, between Tampa Bay and New Orleans. And I'm smashing the under everywhere I can on that one. Whereas when you're talking on the Cincinnati and the Cowboys side of things, it's going to be a little bit lower scoring, but I think that you're going to see Joe Burrow kind of salt that thing away earlier. And we're going to see a heavy dose of Joe Mixon, but it still is not going to surprise me to see Joe Burrow with one, kind of an over under 1.5 touchdown passes on this one. And I think that you're going to, the ability for Cincinnati to put up more points is there. So I'm going to take the Joe Burrow over Tom Brady. And between my own rankings there, I've got Joe Burrow as QB 8. I've got Tom Brady outside QB 1 territory, QB 14 on the week here. So great questions. Absolutely appreciate all that. If you guys have any other questions here, throw them out here. I'll be on here a few more minutes longer. As long as you guys have questions, we'll keep rocking and rolling through that thing here. Kind of real quick out there for everybody. Curious on there. Oh, I see that question coming in there. Just waiting for it to populate so I can show it up here. But the question is, AJ Brown or Antonio Gibson in a 4-man league. Those 4-man leagues are always kind of fun. It's almost like a DFS type of play there, Drew. So, when I've got that on 4-man leagues, I am taking upside everywhere I can, and I'm going to take the person that I think's got take the ceiling play on all of those. So I'm playing more risky on those types of leagues than some of the other ones. Some of the other ones you play a little bit more floor rate to it. So like we already said, we've got Antonio Gibson ranked as RB 16 on the week. I've got AJ Brown ranked as wide receiver 6 this week here. So I think that you are in that one. It's a smash AJ Brown for me on that one. Do see some questions coming on over on the Twitter. Sorry for everybody over there on Twitter. It doesn't show up here on my screen, but I do see you in there, John. So it looks like question on coming from John on the Twitter. Gage, Ayuk, or London full PPR. That's a toughie there. Let me check something here real quick for you, John. Russell Gage, so it looks like he's still questionable to play, although he is now listed officially active. So Russell Gage, I've got him down there in wide receiver 4 territory. Let's see here. What was your other ones? Brandon Ayuk. I got him as a fringe wide receiver 3 this week. And our other one was Drake London. I've got him pretty close. So those guys are all kind of right in and around each other. Ayuk's got Seattle. San Francisco could be running the ball extensively on that one. Not only that, but Trey Lance's over under for passing yards was like 187.5, which I think he'll go over on that one. But even Vegas thinks that San Francisco is not going to be throwing the ball much out there. Mariota's over under on the other side was like the line was set at like 215.5, I think, on that one. So, Vegas is expecting at least 30 more passing yards coming out of Atlanta on that one. Whereas Russell Gage, like I've said before in the broadcast, I am going to pivot everywhere I can in that Tampa Bay New Orleans game. So that leads us down to Ayuk, London. I kind of like the London play in that one a little bit more so than the Ayuk play. I think that they're going to have more passing volume, and I think that they'll be all right there. So between those ones, John, on Twitter, I'm going to take Drake London, then Ayuk, then Gage, kind of rank them up that way for you. Kev, what do we got? You're apparently privy to something I'm not. What are we seeing on the Jameis Winston LOL side of things here? Anyway, hit me up. Let me know with that one. So guys, we'll go through some things here real quick. I'm just going to call out my top 12 quarterback rankings here. I got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, which that one didn't turn out very great after that Monday night. Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Kyler, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Trey Lance, Matthew Stafford. Out there is kind of how I see that one rolling for top 12 there. Oh, well, that certainly changes your question a lot there. J-Bo is Jameis Winston. So Jameis Winston or Matthew Stafford, very easily Matthew Stafford in that one. Again, right, like Tampa Bay's defense looked all right. They're healthy, and I think that you're going to see an incredibly low-scoring affair in that one. So I'll take the Matthew Stafford upside on that one over that. I've got Stafford ranked right as QB 12. I had Jameis Winston ranked as like QB 20 this week. I really am not a fan of this matchup between Tampa Bay and New Orleans, and I'm pivoting everywhere I can. So appreciate the clarity on that one, Kevin, because that certainly changes that quite a bit there. Yep. And if anybody comes in here and spams, just, throwing that out there. If anybody comes in here, spams the chat with other stuff, you'll either be blocked or muted. Thanks for playing for everybody that just saw that come through on the YouTube chat there. Just throwing that out there. So absolutely, guys. If there's any other questions, I will hit those up before we sign off. But we're going to start going through sign-offs here in just a moment. Duffy the Goat 1 over on Twitch. Should I start Freiermuth or Paris Campbell at flex? Ooh, that is a good one there. I do like Freiermuth's usage in this offense, and I think that he'll do very, very well. So it's a little bit of a depends answer for you, Duffy the Goat. And I hate giving depends answer, but it is going to be a depends answer on this one. I've got Freiermuth as running back or tight end 10 on this one, which kind of starts putting him in that almost touchdown dependence type of thing for that one this week. But Paris Campbell, I think, is going to be I think he's going to have a phenomenal play, and I'm playing him in just about every DFS lineup that I've got this week. So I do like the Paris Campbell side of things. I am not looking. So if you need a floor play, I think that Freiermuth probably gets you a little bit more of a floor play than Paris Campbell does. But Paris Campbell's got the absolute much, much higher ceiling on that one. And personally, when I'm playing at the flex, I like the ceiling plays. I would probably personally start Paris Campbell over Freiermuth there. But again, depends answer. Depends on if it's a tight end premium. Tight end premium, that changes the equation. If you are needing a floor play, meaning you're projected to win fairly easily on that one, and you feel pretty confident about the rest of your lineup there, and you just need a floor play, I'm going to take Freiermuth. If I need a ceiling play, Paris Campbell is absolutely my guy there. Alrighty, and then so Jesse on the YouTube's asking Najee or James Conner. That's a great one there. Both of these guys should be in store for a pretty good week this week, but I do have Najee ranked higher than I do James Conner. I've got Najee at running back 12 this week, and I've got James Conner at running back 14. So it's close, but I would go with Najee in that case there. Lucius over on YouTube, rank these running backs today. Edmonds, Damian Harris, or Zeke. Thanks. I've got Zeke as the higher of those in my own rankings here. Let's take a look where I had Harris at. Oh, come on now. Damian Harris, I've got him as a fringe RB2. Chase Edmonds, I had him down there a little bit as well. So, ranking your, ranking your question there, I've got it as Zeke, then Chase Edmonds, then Damian Harris on that one. Jack over on YouTube is asking, with Javonte as a RB1, should start Breece Hall, Melvin Gordon, Damian Harris as running back 2. So Jack, I'll answer this one kind of similar how we answered the Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift type of question there. I think Melvin Gordon will get some decent work. I think that he has some decent floor and potentially upside on that one there as well. But I'm not a big fan of combining running backs on there. Same thing too, right? I wouldn't necessarily combine my wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 off the same type of team on there. I want some diversity in that one, just from the standpoint, if the offense comes out and has a flat day, I've limited my ceiling tremendously on that one. So Javonte should be in your running back spot there. I'm not going to be playing Melvin Gordon in that case. And Breece Hall, Damian Harris, I'm going to take the guy that I think is going to get the more work in that scenario. Damian Harris, I think, will have more work in the New England and Pittsburgh game. Whereas when you're looking at the Breece Hall side of things, I think Michael Carter actually sees more work in that Jets game. So that would be how I'm going to rank that one and how I would start that kind of list of priorities. Javonte, Damian Harris, Breece Hall, then Melvin Gordon on that one. Cool. Next question here. Hunter over on YouTube is full PPR, Drake or Montgomery. I'm going to assume that is Kenyan Drake, since there are 2 running backs there, and it's a smash David Montgomery. Absolutely smash David Montgomery. Kenyan Drake, he'll be out there. He'll be involved. Again, I wasn't very impressed what I saw week 1 out of him. David Montgomery, well, that left some to be desired about how his performance was in week 1. I think that he will have a bounce back game here. Chicago, Green Bay, that's always a good matchup there. But David Montgomery, should still see somewhere around 20 opportunities, 20 touches in this game. Versus Kenyan Drake might get like 12. So I'm going to take the guy that has a much higher usage in my mind. So I'm going to take Montgomery in that one. Duffy the Goat also has Jamal Williams, Romeo Doubs, Robbie Anderson on the bench. Does that change anything? Jamal Williams is an intriguing play. Definitely more of a floor play for me. Romeo Doubs, no. I like Romeo Doubs. I liked him as a prospect, especially for Dynasty. I think that he's got some tremendous things going there. They've talked about him tremendously at camp. But I want to see this Packers offense really click and really start seeing who's going, what that's going to change. Alan Lazard looks like he might play tonight, which Alan Lazard plays that very well may drastically change how this receiving core for Green Bay looks. So that one's out for me. Robbie Anderson, realistically, we take out one play for Robbie Anderson and nobody's talking about Robbie Anderson this week. And I think, and for Robbie Anderson, those are going to be chunk plays. Those are going to be the outlier, not the norm. So no, I don't think that changes anything for me. The only thing that might do is put that into consideration for Jamal Williams in there, but I think that you had that narrowed down correctly where it was either Freiermuth or Paris Campbell. I still like Paris Campbell for that upside shot on that one and the ceiling play on that one. So that would be how I would roll it, how I'd be setting my own lineups there would be the Paris Campbell in that scenario. So I like it. That's a very fun question and really good thought discussion there. So, all righty, guys. Well, I do believe that that's going to take us down here to the end of it. Again, if you guys have any questions, you can find us on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, all of those good things at Good Old Boys FF. The rankings, I'll be going through and cleaning up some of the rankings and making some of those final rankings. Those are available over on our website, goodoldboysff.com. And again, if you guys are out there looking, watching, listening, all that good stuff, one of the best ways to support our independent podcast is to head over to the YouTube channel, click the subscribe button. We don't charge anything for this thing. We give away all of our content for free, and we like doing it that way, help you guys try and win cash and trophies. So again, one of the best ways to help support us is to head over to YouTube. We're closing in on the point where we can try and monetize that channel over there and help keep the cost down on these a little bit. So again, one of the best ways to support this independent podcast, youtube.com. Go to the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast YouTube channel, click that subscribe button. But I do believe that that's going to take us down here to the end of it. Again, guys, if you have any other questions, something pops up there, go ahead and hit us up on those socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all those good things at Good Old Boys FF, and we'll hit up those last ones there too. Want to say thank you and appreciate everybody that tuned in today, and especially everybody that was asking questions and going through and helping us help you. So very much appreciate that. Y'all have a wonderful day and kick off here in about 40 minutes. Cannot wait. Any questions, hit us up. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Derek. Have a good one. Be safe.